Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of 10 Year Transformation. I'm JD. This week's episode is coming to you from on the road in Ebensburg, Pennsylvania. Took my iPad with me. I had to come out here. It's about an hour east of Pittsburgh. It was quite a long drive, about 5.5 hour drive. This is, it's typical for my job, but I wanted to come out and just taking some time, pulled over, side of the road, beautiful park here. I don't know if you can see it in the background, gorgeous park, a little chilly today. It was a warm weekend, but today's a little bit chilly. And I just wanted to come make sure I didn't miss this week. Last week, I did not make an episode, which kind of, I was beating myself up about a little bit. Got to be honest with you for not sticking to my routine of making an episode every week. I feel very, very strongly about the power of routine. Routine kind of guides my life. I try not to be too rigid, but I do fall into that trap sometimes of being rigid. And I do notice that if I do have the tendency to beat myself up for something like skipping a week. So I'm trying to, that's part of my 10-year transformation, is to not be as rigid as I seem to be naturally. But it was actually, skipping last week brought me to this week's episode, so it works out. This week's episode is about the power of routine and focusing on a long game. So just to give you a little snapshot of what my routine looks like. Everyone's routine is a little bit different, but to give you a snapshot of what my routine looks like, my daily routine consists of getting up early, get up about 5 a.m. every morning, make myself a nutritious breakfast, spend some time with my wife before she heads off to work, do about an hour writing, and then I hit the gym for an hour, hour and a half, depends on how busy my day is. But I feel very creative in the morning, and that's why I do a lot of my writing in the morning. That's where I find I do my best writing. I try to manage 500 to 1,000 words a day, whether it's working on the book I'm currently working on, or putting a piece on Substack, or just maybe journaling. You will find a lot of very successful people journal in the morning. It's a good way to kind of clear your head out, and I'm a big advocate of journaling. I think if you're embarking on a 10-year transformation, you may want to make journaling part of your transformation. I feel that getting the ideas and just kind of cloudiness sometimes that fills your mind from sleeping, things that are on your mind, getting it out and kind of putting it onto paper releases it from your mind, and you can kind of move forward with a more clear viewpoint for the day. You can come back to your notes or whatever you wrote if it was a journal, and you can use it as a reference, like, oh yeah, okay, that's how I was feeling that morning. And I use my journaling a lot of times as it's kind of like a guidebook to situations that come up in my life, and I can use it as a map when I encounter a similar situation. For example, last week we had gone away. My daughter was up from North Carolina, and my wife and we had taken a trip up to Rhode Island, which is one of my favorite places in the whole country, and something I'm writing a story about that's going to be on Substack soon. So we took a trip. It was fantastic. We got back on on Monday. But there was an issue with my daughter's flight, so it was delayed until going home on Tuesday. And it kind of threw me off. I had to navigate rebooking her flight, and it just kind of set me off. So I didn't get a chance to make a video, and I didn't have a chance to do any writing as well. And instead of nipping it right in the bud on that day and just following up with everything on Tuesday, I kind of let it fester all week, and I didn't do any writing, and I didn't make the video. And I got down on myself for it, and that's something that I do have the tendency to do, and I try to work through it, is beating myself up over tiny infractions like that. I do have the tendency to be a little bit too rigid when it comes to things like that. I am very, very harsh on myself when I don't stick to my routine, or if I feel that I've kind of let myself down, which I know sounds a little crazy, but it is in a sense letting yourself down. But that brings me to the point of this week's video, and this isn't going to be a very long video, maybe another 5 minutes. I have another 5-hour drive before I could get home, so I just wanted to stop and make the video while I had the opportunity. But focusing on the long game. 10-year transformation, I know I've mentioned this before. Why 10 years? Give yourself time to course correct and whatnot. But a week like last week, when I really wasn't feeling a lot of agency, I wasn't feeling a lot of control over my emotions, I was able to reboot. And I sat down over the weekend and said, okay, that's fine. Chalk last week up to last week. Let's move forward. Let's get a video made tomorrow, regardless of where you have to drive to. Let's get a video on the books. The second thing I wanted to do was make sure I did some writing. So like I said, I got up early this morning and I put pen to paper and did some writing before I even left for the day. So I've set everything in motion. I've set the motion. I've course corrected. Last week I went a little bit off course. I course corrected today. So I set the tone for the rest of the week, and I feel that I'll accomplish a lot this week because I nipped it in the bud. I got back on course. So last week's is a distant memory. I don't even recall what really set me off course. Like it doesn't matter because I've gotten back on track. Unfortunately, what happens to a lot of people, particularly like with something like diet, is that they have a bad week and then they followed up with a second bad week and they followed up with a third bad week, and suddenly all this progress you made is for naught because it's all been wasted because you didn't allow yourself to course correct and get back on target. So that's why you have to focus on the long game. So had I been really beating myself up, I wouldn't have been able to get back on track. So I'm proud of myself that I was able to get back on track. I will say my nutrition was very good last week, so that I did have that going for me. I didn't work out as much as I would have liked, but my nutrition was on track, so I did have a win. I put up a win for last week, even though it wasn't particularly productive week. But again, the long game, and that's what I think you should do, and that's what I'm advising you to do, is maybe sit back and say, okay, well, don't allow short-term obstacles or short-term veering off course really get you off course if you're looking to make a 10-year transformation as I am. But I think that's why I'm very candid with these videos, and I film them every week, because you're going to see a range of emotions. You're going to see weeks where I feel fantastic, I can take on the world like Superman, and then you're going to see times when I made a mistake, and I have to own the mistake and get back on target. So that's what I consider it. Was it the end of the world? Did the clouds fall from the sky because I didn't make a video last week? No. Did anything really go off target? No. Most important thing is that I got back to it this week. So the takeaway for this video, and like I said, normally my video is about 15 minutes. It's only going to be about 10 minutes. Is if you find yourself veering off course, don't beat yourself up about it. Journal, find out what you need to do, get back on course, figure out what set you off the course, and get back onto track and work through it. That's the most important thing, sticking to it and focusing on the long game. This week, I hope to have about 5,000 words written in my book, which would be a huge accomplishment, and that would mean that in the 3 months since I started working on it, I'd be close to 65,000 words. So that's a fantastic target. So, like I said, I'm going to get back on the road. I got 5 hours ahead of me, so I got a little bit of driving. But until next week, have a great week. Share any comments you have on your 10-year transformation, any questions, anything that you would like to share with me. Like this video if you can. I appreciate it, and share it with your friends. And until next week, have a heart of a lion.